Why is the world driven by the number game? It's all about the top line, the bottom line. How many lakhs of lives do you want to impact in this lifetime? This reminds me of this famous movie, The Sholay. And this famous character from this movie, Gabbar Singh, who's in conversation with Mr. Sambar, his subordinate, who has just come back from defeat. And Gabbar is very furious. So Gabbar is looking down at Mr. Sambar and talking to him and asking him, Kitne aadmi the? Now Sambar is shit scared. Sambar is looking up at Gabbar and saying, Do Sarkar, do. There were two people. Gabbar says, those guys were two. You guys were three. Very unfair. बहुत नाइंसाफी. So you see, what's the point missing? What did we just miss? The quality, the bed, the crux, the foundation upon which success is delivered. The bang for the other's buck is offered, is missing. Nobody is talking, stressing on the quality. It's all about the quantity. How many more people you want to reach, how many more transactions you want to click, how much more money you want to make, and so on and so forth. It's just the quantity one is stressing over, missing that it's the quality that is going to take you for the long haul. But there's a reason why the numbers are stressed on, and a fair reason at that. The reason why the numbers are stressed upon is because man's ego is fed by that which is tangible, that which can be measured. Anything that can't be measured does not make us feel nice. We have limited resources, say time, space, money, material, machinery, all that can be measured. So we have limited resources. And to make the most, that is, to have the maximum result out of this resource, we need to manage these resources well. Now, that which cannot be measured cannot be monitored. That which cannot be monitored cannot be controlled. And that which cannot be controlled cannot be managed. So in order for you to manage something, it has to be measurable. That's how connected it is. If you had an X amount of time at hand, how will you manage it? By having a measurable. By saying this is the outcome you want to produce. So much delivered, so many projects done, so many tasks achieved. That's when you say, all right, my time was well utilized. Great job. That's how important the numbers are. We know whether we are on track or off track. When we know, all right, these are the number of lives we've impacted, we know, all right, we are doing something right. This is the profit we've created. This is the share price and all of that we've created for the investors, the stakeholders. So we are doing something right. Keep doing that, keep improving on that, and walk on that path. But we've gone too far in all of this. We've made it an identity. We've started trading human qualities to achieve numbers. So attitudes do not care where they are formed, and eventually they become our behavior. And this behavior of connecting everything with numbers has become a way of our life. We don't know when that began. So take for example, this whole identifying with how many likes we've got and how many comments we've got for all the social media posts that we post defines who we are. And that's not true. Yet there are so many people who go into depression, who are bothered, who are disturbed, who who are going about with a begging bowl asking for those likes or for those comments and making their lives miserable in the whole process, thinking that it's the quantity that really matters. But you know what? The quality will automatically get you what you want in the long haul. What's the hurry? The whole chase of the numbers is such that a cricketer, for example, is not defined as a success basis his performance alone, but on the basis of how much he is brought for. Look at today's example, the coronavirus. Had it been 1 or 2 deaths, it would not have been called a disaster. But just because it's in thousands, it has been termed a disaster. That's the power of numbers. More the merrier, for the good or for the bad. What we need to understand and live by is to have our center very strong and focused. And then increase the radius around our circle. Right? That's how we increase in circumference, and therefore make more, reach out more, and whatever your goal in mind is, do more of that. By having your center intact, not trading your values, your human qualities for numbers, not compromising on your spiritual alignment, not compromising on your character, your nature, your discipline, your values, something that defines you. Without doing all of that, staying true to your core, that center is your core. You do not let go of that core. And from there, you expand. If we do that, numbers are just another thing. It's achievable without giving up on our core. The universe has planted us in this space and time for a reason. It's for us to deliver what we are born for, what our core is. And if we don't settle down and stand in our core, it'll nudge us, it'll push us, it'll beat us down until we are stable in our core and we find our core and deliver from that core. And once we are in that core, anything and everything is possible. The expansion is humongous. It's up to you how much you want to expand from that core, impacting lives and not compromising and eventually compromising on what you're going to deliver to the world outside. There was a client of mine who I coached for more than a year before I went away for a spiritual break for a year. So the break I took was also for a year. And this beautiful client of mine asked me 2 things. One, he asked me not to go on a break because I was doing really well. People were looking for me, asking for my support, asking for my coaching services. And second, he saw that there was a huge scope for social media marketing and management. And he said, why don't I add one more arm to my services, which is my transformational services, and have another arm saying social media management services? Because there was a lot of money there was demand, there was need for a good person to manage the same, for somebody who needed it to be managed. Again, the core has to be intact. It can't be moved with every shiny object there is. That's where people lose plot. They become so distracted, running from one shiny object to the other and to the other, taking, borrowing, stealing from the others, making a mess out of their own core, and eventually mess out of whoever they are trying to impact or deliver services to. So it's a lose-lose situation eventually when you're trying to implement all that will eventually you think will get you the bucks, but basically is actually getting you nowhere in the long term. So stick with your core and build from there, vibe out from there and expand in your circumference, in your reach. And that is going to be phenomenal and it's going to be very, very powerful. Nobody will ever be able to shake you from your core once you're established in it. Hope this makes sense. Hope this message that it's not the quantity alone. It is important, of course, for us to measure where we are, what we are doing, how it is panning out, but it's the quality over quantity that matters more. If you've loved listening to what I had to share, please share it with your loved ones who will in turn benefit from this message and implement the same in their lives. Learn something and take a leaf from this message. And if you find this really valuable, please subscribe to my channel for more such content, and I'll keep seeing you in the next video and the many more videos thereafter. Thank you so much for watching. I love you very much. Mwah.